Welcome everybody. We're really excited to have you here with us today to talk about two of our spring programs that we're going to be hosting here in Silicon Valley. So the first one is called Discovering Culture in Healthcare, which is going to be led by Sam, our co-host today. And then I'm going to be talking about the Exploring Social Innovation program, which is going to be held March 1st through 11th. And I'll be the director for that program. We're going to introduce ourselves very briefly, and then we'd love to hear from the folks in the room as well. So I'll pass it back to Sam and introduce himself.
Thank you, Song. So yes, hello, my name is Sam, and I'm currently the program director for VIA's healthcare programs, specifically for our DCH program happening next spring, as well as our EHC program that we have in the summertime. Just a quick background about myself. I studied psychology, education, and communications at University of California, Davis. I also had an opportunity to study design thinking with a Silicon Valley consulting group called IDEO. Before working for VIA, I did teach English on Awaji Island in Japan for a couple of years, and then I also coordinated a few international programs specifically to bring Japanese high school students to the United States. Super passionate about meeting students to kind of help them reflect about their personal and professional goals. And then in the free time, I like to cook, study martial arts, and of course, exchange ideas with educators over a cup of coffee. I'll pass it back to Yuki-san.
Very cool. Yes, he's the resident martial artist. Um, and my name is Yuki. I'm a program director here at VIA. I've been with the organization for about 8 years. And over that time, I've run a lot of different kinds of programs. So in addition to the Exploring Social Innovation program that we'll talk about today, I also run our Rikuzen Takata program in Japan. And then I also run our Global Community Fellowship program, as well as a couple other things here and there. Um, I am just really excited to, get to facilitate this program this coming spring. It'll be my first time running this program, so I'm excited to learn alongside all of you. So before we dive into the two programs that we're going to talk about today, we wanted to share a little bit about the organization as a whole. So VIA, the organization that Sam and I and Kazuto work for, was founded in 1963 at Stanford. So we've been around for a little while. um, and in the beginning, we were only focused on sending students from the United States over to Asia. So it was just one direction. But then in 1977, our organization shifted and we decided, it was really important to have bilateral exchange. So going both ways between the US and Asia. So that's kind of what started programs like DCH and ESI, where students from Asia were coming to the United States. And today we are an independent nonprofit, so we're not related to Stanford University. We're a really small organization. We only have 6 staff members, but we're small but mighty. We have over 15 programs that we run every year, both here in the United States and in Asia. Over 300 participants annually, all over the world. So it's a really great community to be a part of. When you join a VIA program, you're not just joining, the 2025 or 2026 ESI cohort. It is a much, much bigger community. We have about 10,000 members in our alumni community living all over the world, representing over 27 nationalities. And because we've been around for over 60 years, we have alumni from every generation, every sector, every industry. And so it's a really valuable resource. If you're interested in, connecting with somebody in our alumni community, I find that it's a really warm and welcoming group of people. So if you're interested in, talking to people, I think it's a really great community to join. Okay, and we're going to go into breakout rooms in a moment to kind of split into people who are interested in the ESI program and people who are interested in the DCH program. But while we were together, we wanted to give you an opportunity to learn a little bit, just a little bit about both of the programs. We find that students often will join one program and be like, oh, that was really fun. I want to do, you know, a different program at VIA. Or they do a program and they say, oh, I want to be a fellow for the same program and kind of take on a leadership role. So we always want to take these opportunities to tell you about all of the different programs that we run. So I'll start a little bit with talking about the Exploring Social Innovation program. So we're going to be bringing together maybe 10 or 15 students to really explore what is social innovation. And if that term doesn't mean anything to you, that's okay. It's really just about finding new ways to solve social problems. Here in the Bay Area and where you're from as well, there's so many problems in our societies and so many creative ways to try to solve those problems. So one thing that we do is we try to go out and meet with people, meet with organizations, individuals who are doing really cool things to try to make the world a more peaceful place, a cleaner place, a safer place. All of these different individuals working together to, yeah, to do some good. So in addition to meeting other people and meeting each other, meeting other people in the cohort who are doing cool things, we also want to reflect on our own values and our own motivations for wanting to do this good work. And finally, joining a really diverse and passionate international community. So again, not just the people that we're meeting out in the Bay Area, but also the other members of the cohort. This work, social impact work, it can be really tough. It can be really exhausting. And so finding other people who are doing this work and encouraging each other, it can be really helpful to making sure that we keep doing this work and we don't give up. So that's a little bit about the ESI program. And I'm going to pass it to Sam to talk about DCH.
Great. Thank you so much, Yuki-san. Yes, so I'm the program director for the DCH program. So I'll do a very quick explanation of what this program is about. And then for more information, you can join me in the breakout room later. But for the DCH program, we host this program every spring. But the main purpose of the program is we wanted to provide medical students the opportunity to come to the San Francisco Bay Area to learn about the social issues within the United States through the lens of healthcare. And then we also want for you to gain exposure to different topics that perhaps you don't have a chance to learn much about in your current medical education and studies. For example, for the DCH program, one of our primary objectives is to learn about how healthcare systems are right now adapting to serve many underrepresented populations. This could mean different things depending on each country, but for example, in the San Francisco Bay Area, we do see the healthcare systems adapting for folks who are unhoused or for the LGBTQ community. I think currently in 2025, we are also seeing how healthcare systems can adapt for those who are immigrating to the United States or even foreigners as well. Additionally, we want to provide students with the opportunity to really experience the diversity and also this innovative culture that we have here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Sure, you know that Silicon Valley is located in the San Francisco Bay Area. And then we want to give you the opportunity to meet representatives of this community and kind of learn about what are some innovative ways they are making or innovative ways of how they're making a positive impact in the healthcare systems in the United States. So yeah, if you're interested to learn more, I hope you join me in the breakout room session in a few minutes.
So for the next 40 minutes, we can talk about everything related to ESI. If you have any questions at all, I know one person had a question about the application process, so we can definitely talk about that. But let's dive in. I'm not going to go through everything on this slide, but I just wanted to share that this program, the Social Innovation Program, has a really long history at VIA. It has existed in some form, as you can see, since 2005. But I share this because one of the things that we talk about in the Social Innovation Program is being empathetic, really listening to your users, listening to you, in our case, our participants, and getting feedback, right? And being willing to constantly change and make adjustments based on how our environment is changing and what our students and our participants need. So I just share this to show that we, practice what we preach. We try to always listen to your feedback and make adjustments so that the program is best serving your needs. So a little bit about the ESI program this coming spring. It's going to be held March 1st through 11th, and it's open to students and starting professionals from Asia and the US, as long as you are 18 years or older. And it's going to be located in the SF Bay Area, which, if you don't know what that means, I also did not know what that meant when I moved here. So this is a little map of the San Francisco Bay, this blue area here. And everything that kind of touches or even doesn't touch the Bay Area or the Bay is called the Bay Area, right? So San Francisco is kind of the heart of the Bay Area, I would say. Silicon Valley, which is kind of this area here. You've probably heard of Google and Meta and all of those big fancy tech companies are all in Silicon Valley. Stanford University, which is here in Palo Alto. UC Berkeley, which is here in the East Bay. So all of these places are part of the San Francisco Bay Area. I actually live here in Sausalito in North Bay. And it's very green and peaceful. Not a lot of tech companies live here. It's very quiet. But we'll be doing a lot of exploring through all of the Bay Area in this program. Okay. And on the ESI program, my goal is to be able to explore many of the different sectors and industries within the social impact ecosystem. So, there are a lot of organizations and individuals, entities that are trying to make our society a more peaceful, pleasant place, right? Government, of course, is making policies. Universities are training students and doing research. We have nonprofits who are not focused on making money. They're just focused on, helping people. And we also have private companies like Google and Meta. They are focused on making money, but sometimes they also want to, do good through the work that they do. And then we've got these like social enterprises, which are somewhere in between, right? They're like, we would love to make money. That would be great. We would love to make money, but our primary focus is doing good, right? We want to, support the environment while we are making money, or alleviate poverty while we are making money, right? So the different focuses are kind of what differentiates these organizations. And we'd also love to learn from people in different industries. So people who are supporting environment, people who are supporting the homeless, people who are trying to prevent natural disasters and climate change, trying to support those who are struggling with poverty, right? So trying to learn from as many, many different people as possible. So how will we do that? What will we actually do on the program? One of the things we want to focus on is empathy building. So how do we better understand the challenges that other people are facing? One of the ways that we do that is by talking to them and asking them, what are the challenges that you're facing? We also try to incorporate some volunteer activities so that we can kind of meet lots of people. We just go out and learn from people in the community. We'll also learn from leaders, so through guest speakers, and then also make time to speak to each other, right? I know a lot of participants in this program are already doing interesting things, right? They're leading their own projects, they've started organizations. So this is an opportunity for us to learn from each other as well as from speakers and leaders of organizations here in the Bay Area. We'll also learn some innovation frameworks. So the big one that we'll talk about a lot in this program is design thinking. Have either of you heard of design thinking before? No, maybe yes, maybe no. Oh, I got a message in the chat. Not really. Okay, great. Um, so I'll just very briefly, design thinking is a problem solving system, right? It's a framework with 5 steps that teaches us how we can solve problems in a way that puts human beings, people, in the center, right? We're not focused on having the flashiest cell phone or the fastest technology or the coolest technology. We're really focused on helping people and solving problems that real people are facing. It's just one framework, right? There's so many ways that we can think about problem solving. And this is just one that we think is really simple and easy to understand. And it was also developed here in the Bay Area at IDEO, which is kind of the home of a lot of cool kind of innovation stuff. But it was also kind of pioneered at Stanford University, which is here in the Bay Area as well. So we'll talk a little bit about these innovation frameworks. And then we also want to think a little bit about storytelling, right? Like, how do we understand ourselves? How do we tell our own story? And how do we use that story to get people to join us, right? How do we motivate other people to say, yes, I agree, that is a problem. I do want to help you solve that problem, right? We think that that's a really important skill to learn. All right. So we'll get into the logistics. As I mentioned, the ESI Spring Program is going to be held from the 1st to the 11th here in Silicon Valley. We'll have around 10 to 20 participants. All of the program activities are going to be held in English. So it's important that you have kind of an intermediate level of English. Do you have to have perfect English? No. Okay, I don't even have perfect English from the United States. So no, you don't have to have perfect English. And then the program participation fee is 3,400 US dollars. I also want to mention that participants who join multiple VIA programs are eligible for a discount. We love when our alumni come back to join a program. And then there are also financial need-based discounts available. So when you submit your application, you'll be able to write into the application. There will be a section where you can let us know what your financial need might be, if that's relevant to you. Okay. And then our application timeline. So this is coming up pretty soon. So the priority deadline to complete the application is going to be November 10th. After you submit your application, we'll have a Zoom interview with me. It'll only be about 30 minutes. And then if we think that you're a good fit for the program, we'll send you an acceptance letter, and then you'll have about 1 week to confirm your participation. So hopefully, both of you will be able to submit your application by this priority deadline. If you have anybody in your community that you think would be a good fit, but they're not ready to submit yet, we also have our December 1st deadline as well. So I'm going to pause here quickly. Any questions coming up for folks? Not yet. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just keep going. Okay. So in terms of participation costs, so there are several things that are included in that $3,400 program fee. So the first thing is hotel accommodation. This is probably the most expensive thing, staying in the Bay Area. And the second thing is local transportation. So anything that's related to the program, transportation-wise, will be covered, right? So if you're going off on your own to get boba, that won't be covered, but everything that's related to the program will be. We'll have lots of different site visits, guest speakers, workshops, other activities. All of those are included. None of those are like, oh, you have to pay extra if you want to do something. All of the breakfasts will be included at the hotel. And then we'll also have an arrival dinner and then a final graduation dinner as well. And of course, 24-hour on-site staff support. So I will be with the group the entire time. Kazuto, our executive director, will be in most of the time. There might be some times when he's popping in and out. But there will always be a VIA staff member that you can reach out to if you have any concerns. You know, if there's a health concern or even you're like missing home, like everything is okay to come to us to talk about. Some of the costs that aren't included in the program fee. So your passport, in case you need to get a new passport to travel to the United States, any kind of visa fees, your international airfare or domestic airfare if you're here in the United States, your travel health insurance, which is required for this program, most lunches and dinners, and then any optional activities or personal shopping that you want to do. So we have an estimate here, but a lot of this will depend on your own kind of spending habits and your own needs. But we provide this just to give you an idea of what you might want to prepare for participating in this program. Okay. All right. So who is a good fit for ESI? Maybe you're wondering this if you're about to submit an application. So the requirements are first that you have to be 18 years or older. And second, you have to be committed to participate in all of the activities of the program. Okay, you can't say, oh, I'm not really that interested in that visit to Google. I would rather go visit my cousin who lives in Berkeley. No, okay, we want you to be a part of this program. We want there to be a sense of community, right? And that involves everybody being committed to joining the program fully. Okay. If you are coming in from outside of the United States, you'll have to be able to get a passport and some kind of travel authorization to enter the United States. Currently, there's no kind of health requirements that you have to show, but if that changes, right, if COVID gets really bad again or something, you might need to show some kind of health vaccination. But at the moment, there is no requirement. In terms of your personal interests, your personal attitude, we love it when people write about how they're interested in things related to creativity, design, empathy, and developing your own self-awareness. If you're interested in exploring social issues in the Bay Area or in your home countries, if you're interested in cultural exchange and collaborating with people from different countries and backgrounds, and then this last one, which is something we use a lot at VIA, the ABC attitude. We love people who are active, brave, and curious, right? There are a lot of things here that are going to be new, a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but we really think that if you try to step out of your comfort zone, you're really active, you're really brave, you're really curious about learning about new things and new people and new places, that you'll get a lot out of this program. So that's a little bit about who would be a good fit. We want to stress that it's not required for you to have perfect English. I'm always so impressed by everybody's English, and they always say, "Oh, my English is not so good." I'm like, "Your English is great." So yes, you don't need to have perfect English skills, and you don't have to have prior international experience. If this is the very first time that you have left your home country, that is perfectly okay. You're still a great candidate. Okay. Um, and so if you want to learn more and apply to the program, you can always visit us on our website, which is justiviaprograms.org/ESI. You can email me directly, and I'm happy to set up a call